Hello, dear listener. Thank you for joining me in this week's video. This will be a special one in honor of Cinco de Mayo, and it's also another cross-promotion with Divinity Activewear. The newest culture set introduced to the lineup in honor of May are none other than the Mayans. You may be somewhat familiar with the Mayans and other neighboring natives. Those of you who are, most likely are also aware of all of the brutal practices of sacrifice and war that are ingrained in their culture and religion. When you find out about the pantheon of gods they worshipped, and find out about some of the darker figures, things start to make more sense. Before we begin, I want to give my usual disclaimer / preemptive apology. I will likely mispronounce some names. With that said, sit back, relax, and get ready to learn about 5 horrific Mayan gods of death. Let's begin. Number 1. Wheeless. Wheeless was the goddess of the moon and the queen of the night. She was also associated with the underworld, sickness, and death. Though there are debates as to the true deity connected to the moon, most of the sources I found bestow that honor to Wheeless. The traditional Mayans generally assume the moon to be female, and the moon's phases are accordingly conceived as the stages of a woman's life. Being in the image of a woman, she is also associated with sexuality and procreation, fertility and growth, not only of human beings, but also of the vegetation and the crops. Since growth can also cause all sorts of ailments, the moon goddess is also the goddess of sickness, death, and the underworld. Number 2. Camazotz. In Maya mythology, Camazotz were bat gods. Don't get excited, it has no connection with Bruce Wayne. In the Popol Vuh, a text recounting the mythology and history of the Quiche people, Camazotz are the bat-like monsters encountered by the Maya hero twins, Hunahpu and Xalbalanc, during their journey to the underworld. During this journey, the twins had to spend the night in the House of Bats, where they squeezed themselves into their own blowguns in order to defend themselves from the vicious creatures. At one point, Hunahpu stuck his head outside of the blowgun to see if the sun had risen. Immediately, a Camazotz snatched his head off his body and carried it to the ball court. His head was going to be used by the gods in their next game of Pakatok, a commonly played ball game in Mesoamerica. Camazotz loosely translate to death bat in the Quiche language. In Mesoamerica, bats were associated with night, sacrifice, and death. Number 3. Bullock Captain. Also referred to as God F, Bullock Captain is the Mayan god of war, gambling, and violence. Humans were sacrificed in his name on a regular basis. In the Dresden Codex, the oldest surviving book from the Americas that dates back to the 13th century, he is depicted as being eaten by maggots. He is also shown setting homes on fire before killing their residents by impaling their bodies onto skewers and roasting them over the fire. Number 4. Kaizen. Kaizen was the Mayan god of death who had control over earthquakes and the subterranean land of the dead, known as Xibalba. Though sometimes thought to act as a malevolent god, Kaizen was also often depicted beside Bullock Captain, the god of war, in scenes of human sacrifice. He is also known by his, quote, death collar, which is his most prominent feature. It consists of disembodied eyes dangling by their nerve cords. After the Spanish conquest, the deity of Kaizen became muddled with the devil as seen in Christianity. Number 5. Ichtab. This is a dark one. Also known as rope woman, or literally, woman whose work involves the use of a rope. Ichtab was the goddess of suicides, and particularly those who died by hanging themselves. In the Dresden Codex, she is depicted as the rotting corpse of a woman, hanging from a noose and dangling from the heavens. Experts believe suicide was considered an honorable alternative to living. Among the Maya, self-inflicted death guaranteed one an instant passage to paradise by passing the dark and dangerous underworld of Xibalba. Ichtab was believed to escort the victims of suicide to paradise, where they would enjoy eternal pleasure, surrounded by the other blessed souls, such as those who died in battle, in childbirth, as sacrificial victims, or on the ball court, playing a game of Pakatak. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, pin down the like button and impale it through the chest with your sacrificial blade. Just a reminder that Divinity Activewear is having another sale. You can save 15% on all Mayan-inspired apparel through the month of May by using promo code MAYA2020 at checkout. If you want the exact code to copy and paste, I will leave a link down below, but it's also on the website if you check it out. So let me know if you have any questions with that. Until next time, everybody, remember to stay safe out there. I'll be seeing you in the next video.